might have noticed that when you're in Google Calendar, there's been this blue button that's been appearing at the top saying Use New Calendar. And the reason for that is Google has a new version of Google Calendar that it's slowly transitioning users to. Um, the new calendar will become the only choice from Google at on February 28th, I believe, or by February 28th. So if you want to start playing around with and getting used to the new look of Google Calendar, it might be a good idea to check it out. The nice thing is between now and then, you can flip between the new version and the old version anytime you want. So I'm going to click on Use New Google Calendar and then click Upgrade Now. And you'll immediately see that the new version of the calendar just has a much more attractive look. It's more spaced out and it seems to be less cluttered. So, a couple of quick things. For example, there's a much bigger monthly calendar here that lets you flip through the months and easily jump to a particular week or day or month in the year. There's also a today button, just like in the old version, that let me jump back right to the current day. One of the things that you'll notice right away is that all of your calendars automatically appear here on the left-hand side. In the old version of calendar, they were always sort of hidden unless you actively went and expanded them. I think it's good to have them automatically expanded because it's easy to forget which calendars you have access to. The other kind of nice thing about the new version of Google Calendar is if you don't have enough room, by clicking the three lines here, the main menu button, some people call it the hamburger button. What it does is it hides that left-hand side. So now all I have is just a view of my calendar, and then clicking it again brings back that left-hand side. One of the things you will notice is that at the top, there used to be a create event button. What Google has done to be much more consistent with a lot of their other apps, particularly their Android apps, is they've moved the create event button, this plus button, down to the lower right hand corner. So now when I click that, I get the create event screen. It has all of the same information that it used to have. So I can add a title for my event. I can choose what day, what time, all of those typical things. I can make it an all day event. I can put location, all of that stuff. It just looks a lot nicer. And you'll see when I save it, it'll show up on my calendar. I can also add events just like I used to with the old version of calendar. So I can just click on a day and it'll pop up a little window and I can add an event. And I can also do a little bit of editing here right from this pop-up window. And if I have access to more than one calendar, you'll see that I can add it to any calendar that I have edit access to. So these other calendars here, I have view only access to, so I couldn't add that event to. So it works pretty much the same as the old version of calendar. You'll see that I can see all of the different calendars and events here in one screen, just like the old version in different colors. It just looks a lot nicer. I can still switch between month view. I personally like week view, so I keep my calendar in week view most of the time, or day view. There is a really nice feature in day view if you have access to individual people's calendars. So, someone on your team or a colleague, when you go into day view, it'll automatically line up your calendar with the people who've shared their calendars with you so you can see them side by side, which makes scheduling an event much easier. It'll also show you if you have any room calendars that you can edit. It'll show you those as well. So, for example, I could say if I wanted to find a meeting time that worked for all three of these people, Clara, Amy, and Paul, and we wanted to meet in the CO training room, I could see, I could choose 3 o'clock, and that would work right across the board for everyone else. So that's kind of a nice feature as well. So if you want to get back to the old version, you're not ready to make the leap to the new version, you just click the settings gear and you'll see there's a choice back to classic calendar. It'll ask you why. You don't have to check off one of these boxes. I can just click back to classic and there it goes. It doesn't change any of my data. All of the new events that I added to my calendars, you'll see they're still here. It just is back to the classic look. again, just so that you're aware, by February 28th, the new version of the calendar will be the default view and the only version you'll be able to use. So it is probably a good idea to start getting used to the new version. Um, it's not missing any of the features that you used to have. So I think just besides looking nicer, you really probably won't have any issues moving to it. So if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I hope this helps.